Welcome back to the Plug In for More podcast. Today we have Kevin McGregor from Camp365, which is a camping company. They have a tow behind camper, and then they have a new camper coming out soon for the truck beds. This camper we found has some interesting attributes that make it, I'd say, more suited than a lot of campers for EVs. We're going to dive into that, give you some details. And for those of you who are campers, I think this might be something you might be interested.
And before we jump into the episode, please, guys, if you get a chance to get in and like and review our podcast, the reviews make a significant difference to us and the algorithms and the reach that we're going to have for the episode.
Welcome to Plug In for More, brought to you by evuniverse.com. EV Universe is your one-stop shop for all things related to the electric vehicle. Here on this podcast, our goal is to educate, inspire, and hopefully make your transition into the electric vehicle marketplace a lot less intimidating. And now, here are your hosts, Mike, Tom, and Bryant.
So, Mike, a little bit of a hiccup last week for me. My level 2 charger just stopped working. And it was kind of weird. Like, I know we texted about it a little bit, but like my Mach-E had a charge station fault, and I had no warning signs from the app or on the actual charger itself. But I tried a couple different chargers with my car; those all worked. So through process of elimination, I got a defunct level 2 charger in my garage. I communicated with the company. Thankfully, they recognize the issue and are replacing it on warranty, but I'm still in the process of waiting for it right now
How long are you going to be without a level 2 charger?
until Monday.
Okay, so how many days total is this?
We're going to be like 7 or 8 days that I will have been without a level 2 charger.
Okay, so you've been using your level 1, I'm assuming, to get by for the little bit here?
Yes, which honestly is cutting things way tighter than I had liked. And at one point, like I got my battery down to about 50% and then had to be on the level 1. And I'm doing about 1 kilowatt an hour is what I'm getting off the charge. So, you plug it in, it tells you normally like your car will be done charging at 5 p.m. It's like 5 p.m. 2 days from now. Like it's
Mm.
absurd.
Yeah, which is definitely not good. At least, I mean, I'm assuming you might have to go hang out at some, uh, remote destination chargers, that kind of thing, for a little bit, on your daily travels, just to be on the safe side.
Yeah, once I did. I stopped at a level 2 and got it topped off a little bit, but otherwise, I don't think I have necessarily a need for it, and I kind of think it shows that people could still get by with the level 1 depending on how much driving you do. I do quite a bit of driving on the days, taking kids back and forth to school, so it'll drain off 40 to 50% of my battery just in my routine travel.
Yeah. Yeah, which, for a lot of people who don't travel much at all or work from home, level 1 might just be fine. I mean, for myself, if I'm not going on a trip, I only drive, 50, 60 miles a week for the most part,
Yeah.
depending on which kind of kid activities we're doing. But, you know, everyone has different needs. Yeah, and one big announcement we have for EV Universe is we have just collaborated with Recurrent, and if you haven't seen Recurrent, they have battery and range reports, which is really cool, especially for used vehicles. If you're worried about battery degradation and you want to see exactly how much range that car should have, or at least it's a very good estimate, go to our website, and on a large number of vehicles right now, you can see, if it's a 2017 Tesla Model X, you can see where that range should be at, based on that particular car's attributes. And so it's actually specific to that VIN. They're pinging the car, getting some good information out there. So again, take a look at our website. I'm really excited about this announcement because, again, if you're buying a used EV, sometimes you don't know what that range really is. You're going to see the original EPA range, but it does degrade over time a little bit, and this is give you an idea of where that car actually sits. So take a look, evuniverse.com.
Cool. And for now, enjoy the rest of the episode and our conversation with Kevin.
One of the main things that most people are going to see is the change in range. And to talk about today, about that today, we've got Kevin from Camp365, who's going to talk about their product and some of the things that most people see in the camping industry. Again, trailering is a big one and big consideration for EV owners, and kind of how your product's a little bit different, and what you think the future holds for electric vehicles.
Because it's my understanding that your campers aren't necessarily inherently designed for electric vehicles, but otherwise smaller vehicles for limited towing capacities, right?
Yeah, exactly. We engineered it and designed it with it in mind that the vehicles were going to change at the time, and seeing that electric vehicles were coming into the picture right about that time. Um, as Motor Trend pointed out, that we were probably the only camper that was, that was thought enough ahead to design it for the EV industry. Which in the design and all the testing we've done with Tesla, we've seen the results of it. With range loss generally right around 25%. We think with our newer design here in the 2023 one that's coming out will be even less than that. And just the overall usability of the unit from a standpoint of an EV buyer and how they just go about, on a weekend flyby trip to make it so they can just easily pull it out of their garage, hook it all up to their EV, go on a nice trip, hit the Starbucks drive-through, go to McDonald's, not have to worry about taking their camper off, pull into the charging station. If they have to take the camper off, which they shouldn't have to, they can easily maneuver it around. It's not a big ordeal. And they can go out to their favorite location and then come back and recharge. We've got, we don't have it on the website. We're right in the middle of doing that, but the new Model T, which is for the truck bed of all the EV truck beds, we designed specifically for that. Same model. You've seen it.
Yep.
There's just no hitch post on it. No, the weight is generally going to be about 600 to 700 pounds, but folds out, sleeps a family of 4. It's a game changer for the EV industry and the truck bed market.
Can you tell us more about that? Because I haven't seen it. I don't know nothing about it.
Well, the unit was specifically designed, to meet the demands for the EV industry for truck beds. It's lightweight, it's aerodynamic, it's got a minimal drag. So it works as kind of like you think of Ricky Bobby and shake and bake and a slipstream in effect. So it drafts behind in the vehicle.
Gotcha.
So it works as a streamlined unit with your EV. That's how kind of we made all of either our towables or the truck bed model. But the truck bed model in particular, what's sweet is that it detaches from your vehicle very easily. So we fix that. And also you can store it in your garage. So it comes on and off your vehicle quickly. And then you can, when you set it up at the campground, most of these truck bed EVs, they can have a family of 4 in there. And so you could sleep 4 adults in there. It actually could have 2 queen beds in it. And there's plenty of standing room for your whole family to stand up in. And we're engineering it to kind of work in with the actual EV so that you can eventually we're going to have it so they will actually recharge the electric vehicle. We believe that we can, with our solar capacitance and then how big it gets, being able to take in the energy of the solar and then harness it back into the vehicle.
Kevin, I want to take a step back and really talk about the industry as a whole for campers. And as an EV owner and someone who likes to camp, there's some inherent drawbacks that we've seen in the industry ourselves. Is that a lot of the campers on the market are really big, they're heavy.
Yep.
The tow capacity of like my Rivian is great. It's fantastic. However, what we're seeing with the Lightning and the Rivian and just EVs in general is it cuts the range quite a bit. Now, your product with Camp365 is a little bit different. That's one of the reasons we wanted to have you on the podcast is due to the weight of this this camper, the aerodynamics, and just it's a cool camper. And so you and I've got to know each other a little bit over the last few weeks, and as we look at what your camper is and how it's different, can you to walk us through how it is different, just even from a weight perspective and from a drag perspective?
When you're towing it behind your EV, we designed it and engineered it to be work as like a streamlined unit with your electric vehicle. Most of the campers out today, when we looked at the industry, it was these heavy, bulky designs that are based on a square box mentality. Camp365 is more a transformer origami-esque. It folds out as a slipstream unit behind so it works more of as homogenous to like when you're towing it, it does very minimal air drag. It's a very low center of gravity. Weight ranges anywhere from 1,500 to 1,900 pounds on our towable unit. The new truck bed unit will be between 600 to 700 pounds. But it's not only is the weight that you're towing, it's just how it performs when it's in the vehicle's bed or behind the vehicle, and the amount of air drag that it goes when you're towing it down the. So we've done extensive testing with Tesla, and we're seeing some extremely good results. Very little loss of range, around a 25% margin. We know we can even get better than that with some of our new designs that are coming out here in 2023. But the industry as a whole is focused on a box, and we were focused more on the kind of the same principles that the EV industry was based on in their designs. We've got over 16 patents on Camp365 and its various different products that have all been commercialized in the original design of the Camp365. And we're seeing a ton of our owners of EV vehicles that are turning to us as they find out all the benefits of towing a Camp365.
I guess going back to your test with Tesla, was that a Model 3 or Model Y or an S, X? What vehicle was that?
We've done the Model Y was the most extensive testing that we've done.
Yeah. So with that one, um, you're saying you've got a 25% range loss versus typically. I mean, Tom, we did some extensive testing with the Ford F-150 Lightning, and then same thing with the Rivian so far. And we're seeing, when you load up a full size trailer, more around 40 to 50% range loss.
Yeah.
It's pretty typical. So this sounds like that's cutting that range loss in half. So that's
Mhm.
quite a substantial improvement from what we've seen with our own tests.
Great. Yeah, we believe we can get even better than that. The new one's coming out. It's a little bit more slipstreaming. Has a little bit more design specifically more for an EV. The weight distribution that we did, and the height of the unit as it's behind the unit, so it has less air drag.
Sure.
Um, and the truck bed model, we're expecting to see right around the 20% loss range. Could be even less than that, in 15.
Okay. So, I mean, again, for our listeners out there to kind of describe this thing, um, it's a camper that folds out. I mean, it really opens up quite a bit. And so, what's the length when it's closed?
15 and a half feet.
Okay,
Um,
so
yep.
15 and a half feet, and then height is only. I mean, even with the trailer, it's pretty short. Are we talking? I think it's about what, 6 feet or so.
Because it fits in a standard garage, we're right around 6'8" in the towable unit.
Okay.
And it fits in a standard garage. But then when behind your tow vehicle, it's the center of the frame of the camper is only 4 feet wide. It's actually a half inch less than 4 feet. So it really is right behind your tow vehicle within your drag and the air moving around your vehicle. And that's kind of the intent of it. The wheelbase is out at 6 feet, the bottom weight, which is where the majority of our weight of our camper is, which is really down low.
Yeah. So we're talking about what it can fit in your garage, and if you go to Camp365 or our website, we're going to have an article about this as well. It's a really small unit, but it does expand quite a bit. Now, what does it expand? I mean, you say it fits 4 people, but in feet, how wide and how long is this thing?
Um, the towable unit is in essence 12 by 8. Um, it folds out from 12 by 8. It's got around 400 cubic square feet of space. It's 7 foot tall ceilings. I've
Okay.
had it. I've had it at a show. I've had 24 people standing up inside of it.
Hmm.
Just
Um,
packing them
yeah.
in.
It can sleep 6, and it can have 2 queen beds in there with room in the middle to move around. And it's got all your modern amenities that people kind of with EV vehicles want. We've got, we can have satellite connectability with it with Starlink. It's got all your, lights and dimmable LEDs. Plenty of room to plug in. The back cap of the camper actually works as a table inside or outside. It's got hot water, shower, the toilets, all the beds all fold out, heat, AC, On the top, as you'll see it as it's kind of a hybrid. So you got hard walled sides mixed in with um, flexible material on top that's called Aqualon. There's nothing canvas, nothing to mold, mildew, rot in the unit, and there's no wood in the camper. So it's all made out of advanced materials. And one of the reasons why we can take this unit in the middle and go out ice fishing in Minnesota when it's 20 below out, or you can head out in the middle of a desert in Arizona, is we have a patented air gap insulation throughout the whole top and all the hinges that allow you have a huge amount of R value that allow it to all unfold.
Hmm.
And then that when it's all tensioned all out, you have this air gap that gives it all the R value within the camper. So then our users and the buyers of it can use the camper year round. So it's not just a seasonal unit that you're buying.
Okay. And that's really cool. And just seeing the pictures, I'm looking at it is kind of, I don't want to be dismissive, but it looks kind of a little bit like a pop up in a lot of ways because
Yeah.
what's happening. But your description of origami is fun. Like that's accurate to what we're seeing. Um, I used to have a pop up camper years ago, and I didn't enjoy it as much because there was a lot of draft. But what you're talking about here with those options sounds really cool.
Yeah, I mean, we looked at everything that they have done in the pop-up industry. Jayco, the Bontrager family started that out in the 50s, and then the teardrops that came out in the 1930s. We looked at everything that they had done, and we redesigned around it and made it better. So we didn't want a seasonal. We wanted a year-round, as the name implies, Camp365 camper that a whole family can enjoy. It's got to be simple and easy for the user to take out, to move around in the garage. We like to say is it's grandma certified. So grandma by herself can go out on a trip and take and use and set the camper up all by herself. We want to make it easy and simple. And then at the end of your trip, you want to be able to put it away in your garage. You don't have to dry the thing out again. And also the camper can set up on completely unlevel terrain, which is completely novel and unique to the industry because generally you got to be the idea of camping, from Elkhart, Indiana is you got to be on, class 5 gravel or cement parking lot at Walmart. Well, campers nowadays want to be away from people and they don't want to necessarily be tethered to a traditional campground where they got to pay campground fees. So the camper is kind of for the on-the-go family that, at the last second wants to take a good long weekend trip, but can want to stay anywhere in their favorite beach, in favorite mountainside, anywhere where there's completely unlevel terrain. The camper just sets up mechanically.
Yeah, which to me, I think is really cool because when we're looking at some of the new EVs out there, especially with the air suspension on these trucks, my Rivian has air suspension. You can set it up for uneven ground, and so the truck can be evened out. And so, if we're talking about the same thing for the camper, that's a pretty cool addition there. Where you can make sure that you're not sleeping facing down a hill. I
Right.
that might be a benefit for some people. It would be for me.
Yeah.
I don't necessarily like rolling downhill as I'm trying to take a nap, but
Yeah, but it doesn't take much ground to make something unlevel, and it's a nightmare to get them balanced.
Yeah.
I had a pop up at a 26-foot tow behind like a trailer or tongue mount
And
trailer.
how much, Tom? How much wood did you bring with you when you went on a trip to help
Oh,
level it?
at least a few bundles. Yeah,
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 that's very typical.
right.
Yeah, so the camper, it will level out on sand, mud, dirt, snow, rocks,
That's cool.
on incline. We have a tool in there. I haven't used in 5 years, have not used a tool to set it up. But if you're on completely, really, really, really like on grade, like on a hill, it will still set up. But we've got a tool in there that kind of helps articulate our leveling system up, down on the downhill side. So yeah, other than that, it's very easy and simple. And for a family, there's nothing in its category that's fits its size and how big it gets from so small.
You're listening to the Plug In for More podcast. If you're looking for information on electric vehicles components, or information on how to reduce your carbon footprint, look no further than evuniverse.com. evuniverse.com is your one-stop shop for all things related to electric vehicle.
Can you tell us about the solar version?
Well, all of our campers are solar ready. The new one that would be coming out on some of our more so on the new truck bed model that'll be coming out here. We're going to be releasing here very soon. I've been talking to Mike about um, that one because it gets so large and so big, and it's way bigger in the truck. When it folds out, will allow to harness the energy. We believe the amount of watts that we need to bring in that will be able to kind of not only that regenerate the camper but regenerate the vehicle at the campsite. That's where we're planning to get to. So then you don't have to. Then you don't have to go to a charging station. You just have to get to your site, recharge the unit. You know, we have enough of the ability right now for with our solar charging units that can recharge the camper and provide that and provide a little bit of a charge to the vehicle.
What kind of battery is in the campers now?
You can do dual lithium ions if you'd like.
Okay.
Comes standard with a lead acid. But we see a lot more of our customers stepping it up to a couple of lithium ion batteries in there. We partnered with a leading like a solar appliance manufacturer called GoSun,
Mm.
and we have a model called the GoSun Camp365, which is kind of our off the grid unit that has an additional solar power bank on it. I think it's as 2000 IU, but you only use that, but we can add 2 other batteries in there besides that. And that
Gotcha.
one also has a solar cooking stove, and it's got a bunch of different amenities that kind of apply to to the off the grid camper, so to speak. So that's the GoSun Camp 365 model.
Well, Kevin, thanks for joining us today. I know we've got a couple things in the works regarding the use of your camper, showcasing some of the capabilities, especially for EVs. There's more to come on our website and our YouTube channel. So if you haven't checked those out, please make sure to do so. Kevin, where can people find more about your camper?
Well, first you can go to our website at Camp365, CAMP365.com. You can also go out to our YouTube channel and our Facebook site, Camp365.
Awesome. Thanks, Kevin. Appreciate the time today.
Thanks.
Take care.
Thank you for listening to Plug In for More. Make sure you subscribe so you don't miss any future episodes. In the meantime, check out the one-stop EV marketplace, evuniverse.com. Until next time.